Hi, I'm back, and we're going to finish off prompt number 6, napkin image and tag. If you were joining me on the last prompt, you saw me make these base plates of the tags from clay, and that's what we're going to work on today. So first, let me show you, I baked some grommets in it, and they are firmly in place. This one I actually set before I baked it. And we're going to see how this goes. This should be super easy. So all you need to start is some napkins, some Mod Podge, a brush. I have a little bit of water, and I could use a little tape. Any kind of washi tape is good. So let's work first on this green tag. I'm going to try just to use, a really simple technique and see what you guys think about it. So I'm just going to take my tape and pull to get those back layers off. And usually there's a couple layers, and I find the tape pulling technique just to be the easiest way to get it. And then napkins will not tear straight, and I like to have that little frayed edge because it melts in so nicely into whatever you're working with. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a little bit of water and a paintbrush, and you simply make a line of where you want to tear. And it's as easy as that. So I'm going to take a little bit of these berries. Oops, and look at, I tore there because I wasn't paying attention. And I think I want some of this plaid star material on my tag. Sorry about that, folks. I got a phone call and I had to take it off the stand, and it just, I'm not sure if I'm exactly the same way it was set up before. I'm excited. My niece is coming to visit me, and she's never come on her own before. And I'm excited about it, but she's calling me from the road, so I wanted to make sure everything was all right. And I'm trying to get the videos done before she comes, because then I'm going to want to spend time with her. So here's a couple pieces of napkin, and here is our tag. And look, it got a little wonky there, which it doesn't bother me, but I just wanted to show you how versatile Polymer is. I can actually just cut this super straight if anything is bothering me. That's how, like, it is somewhat flexible. See? Okay, so now all I'm going to do is I'm going to take my Mod Podge and get a nice little, I'm going to put a little bit of just a little tiny sheen on it, and then I'm going to place my napkin where I want it, right on top. Press it down. Trying to get out as many wrinkles as possible. The nice thing about doing this on clay is you don't have to worry about the paper wrinkling underneath because there's no paper. And then if you want, you can wrap it right around. Right? So that goes right around. And let that dry. I'm going to stand that up because I don't want to ruin it anymore. And while that's drying, I'm going to do another one. I think on this one, I'm going to do the plaid. I'm actually going to put a little bit of Mod Podge on my glass here and put some water on it. I'm going to water it down just a little bit. I like it to be a lot thinner than that. I'm going to put this right on top. And I'm not going to worry about going over the eyelet because I can just scrape that right away afterwards. And let's do another one. I have some gnomes. I don't know if his face is not gonna fit. Let's see what else I have. I have a Santa, but that face won't fit either. Maybe I'll still just stick with the holly. This isn't actually holly, these are just berries. And maybe I'll just do a partial. You know what I'm going to do? Let's try something different so that you can see what else you can do with this. Let's take some 18 paper. This is paper from 1903. I'm just going to rip some of it. And I'm just going to add it to my project like that. I'm going to ink it. Now, what I have to decide is, do I want to add it to the project like on top of the berries or with the berries on top of it? Let's do the berries on top of it. So I'm just going to take a little bit of Mod Podge, make a very thin coat, because I don't want this paper to buckle at all. And I'm going to stick that right on there like that. And then I'm going to come in with this image, and I'm going to paint that right on top. And you're going to see that you can see the words from the paper through it, which is really nice. And there should be enough glue to make that stick. I'm just going to be very gentle. With my fingernail, I can just sort of make that grommet or that eyelet come through the napkin. Definitely want to go around the corner, and I want that to dry. So I am actually going to take these in the other room and heat gun all three of them. I'm going to tear away the antique paper in the back, just enough. And then I'm going to finish the back off with the rest of the napkin. And then I'm going to heat gun that as well. I like to get the glue on the side to really adhere to the clay. I can even trim it just a little bit. Really push it in with my finger. Just like that. I'm going to heat gun that. going to trim this off. Clear out the center there, any kind of paper. And I'm going to use my fingernail to clear off the top of the eyelet so we can see the green. Just like that. And then this one, has the grommet, it has the paper, the see-through, the napkin. I'm going to add a little bit more Mod Podge to it, just to make sure everything is down well. Before I finish with that. Okay, so on this one, first, I definitely want to add some gold to it. So I'm going to take my gilding wax and I'm going to gild the corners with gold. And polymer clay is very light, so this is not going to add a lot of weight to a package or to a book. So let's gild it a little bit there. And let's see, what else would I like to add on it? I think I'd like to add something that's a little three-dimensional. So what if we came in with one of our buttons that we made, right? And what if we covered the button with some of those berries. And what I'm going to do, so I'm going to just say take some Mod Podge like that. And I'm going to take one of these berries and I'm going to put it on the front of the button the way I want it. And I'm going to paint some Mod Podge on top. And I can heat gun that or let that dry. I guess I will heat gun that. So now I want to do the back while we're waiting. And I think I just want some antique paper on the back. So this paper is just so old that I don't even need to worry about cutting it. I can just simply bend it, you know, break it off after it's done. But I think I want the back to definitely be covered. So I'm just going to make sure there's nothing on here that I would be bothered with. And it looks like it is just something to do with Oliver Swift, so probably nothing offensive that I can see. I'm just going to trim around. I know I said I was going to rip it, but I'm going to just do this because I don't want it to rip before it's dry. Okay, and I am going to ink the back of that. So why would I ever do this on polymer? Well, one, because it's very sturdy. It's got such a nice feel to it. Second, you could use them as ornaments. I actually make ornaments like this with napkins. They have a really nice feel. So if you wanted to make a tag that later on you would, I think I need a little bit better glue than that. Do not use any kind of glue on polymer that is like acetone. So no beacon glue, no super glue, things like that. You don't want to eat into your project. You just want like PVA, white PVA, school glue, Mod Podge, things like that. All right, so now that's covered on the back. And then this is on the front. And let's go back to our little button here. I'm going to rip or cut right around the edge. I'm probably going to finish off the sides with a little bit of art glitter glue just to make those sides really stick. I have to be super gentle. Just pulling the sides down of the button like that. And I got to find those buttonholes again, the you know, where the holes were. Just to make sure those holes still show up. The sides are still gluing down. So we're just going to let that dry so that I don't mess it up. I'll add a little bit of Mod Podge to it just to finish those sides up a little bit. Let that dry. Let's pick this guy up again. I think I want to gild the edges of this one. And I got to figure out what I'm going to do on the back there. Maybe a little bit more of that paper. This time the paper will be on top rather than make that a bit of a raggy edge. And I think I want to put a little label. Let's get one of my little labels on there. Or even a postage stamp would look really cute there. So I went through my vintage postage stamps. And I couldn't find anything to work with this corner. But then I had this one, which works. And I have to say it's probably one of my least favorite vintage Christmas stamps. So I don't mind using it on this project. I'm going to actually ink the corner. It doesn't have that vintage feel. This is when they were putting them on like a sticker paper, which is really kind of strange. I'm going to put it a little bit cockeyed, like corner like that. And I don't know if I want to, I don't think I can roll it over, but I wonder if I can. Then it's going to be the wrong. No. I can always cut the edge this way too. It'll still have the piece. It'll look a little bit like it goes. I want to make sure nothing is sticking out on the edges. And I could just give it a quick little file. That'll just make sure everything on the edge is smooth, not sticking out. And then I could come in with a gilding wax. And if your gilding wax starts getting too hard, like it starts hardening up, you can just reactivate it with a little water. I don't know if you know that. I'm just coming around, adding a little gold. I guess I could have done silver since the eyelet's silver, but I don't know. I like gold on the edges. And I want to probably go in with scissors again and just clear out the eyelet. Oh, the eyelet came right out. That's all right, I can glue it right back in. Just make sure that hole is nice and clear. And put in some glue. And there is the tag with the vintage stamp and the napkin and the paper, and on the back. And that's a cute little tag that I'm going to put a little bit of twine through there. And again, this could be an ornament, or if we are just going to make it a tag, I would tie it and trim it. And there it is. Clay and paper and postage. Now this one, I'm going to take some of the twine. It might be too thick, but let's find out. I was going to say I can probably put that right through the button like that. I'm just going to tie that. And I can, I believe, because there's a couple layers of paper and glue on top, I can use a little bit of, I'm going to say Fabri-Tac. I'm going to give it a try to adhere this button just because I want it to stay. Which I don't think I should tie it because I think it's going to make too much bulk. I just like the old paper feel, you know. I feel like that's kind of what we do in this paper community, is we love old book pages, and I want to use them in as many projects as I actually can. So here I'm just going to put on the book page, trim it. I'm going to file the edges of the tag and just do a couple little things to get it finished up. I can gild the sides very easily. I'm going to glue on our button right in the center there. And I feel like a sentiment could be put somewhere. Like Noel or Happy Holidays or take a little bit of black paper. Oops. And I'm going to write in handwriting. That's if my pen works. Might have been a couple of years since I've used it. Oh, for God's sake. I hate when that happens with a gel pen. I think if you run it under hot water, it's supposed to reactivate, but let's see. Well, it's going to be white for now because let's just see. I might not even like it. I'm just going to handwrite Noel. Yes, but not that one. And is there a little 2 dots over the Noel? Oh, there could be, but I don't know for sure. Yes, I like that. While that is drying, I am going to add some green fringe to the top. And instead of pulling it through, I think I'm going to tie it double and then make a little fringe on the top there. So it really is like a tag. So it's a little bit more fringe. Let me go dry this. So here's the final product. This is Napkin Image on a tag, polymer clay tag covered in paper, Napkin Image, a handmade button. The second one has the postage stamp. They both have the eyelets in them. They would be great on the neck of a wine bottle, on a gift, an ornament on a tree, or if you left out the eyelet, they'd be a great little plate on the front of a journal. There's just so much you can do. If you found this video helpful, if you're perhaps interested more in the polymer clay end of it and want to keep exploring that as well as Papercraft, I'm your girl, and I hope that you will like this video and subscribe. I feel like I have a lot of big ideas coming in 2022, and I'd love for you to join me. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you at the next prompt.